G'day, Cephalon Collective, and welcome to Cephalon Squared mini episode number 31. My name is Cephalon Greg, and I'm joined as always by Cephalon Lucas. How are you doing on this fine evening?
Doing good. Good things.
That is good. I am glad. It's the middle of the week. Actually, it's the end of the working week, so I'm a happy person.
Yes.
Yes. Getting on into the weekend. Can't wait. These are good things. So
Things are good.
Apparently they are. How's the weather treating you up north in sunny old Queensland?
Well, here in sunny old Queensland, in the city of Ipswich, it is currently 16 degrees Celsius with a 63% humidity.
This is true. This is very true. And that's 61 degrees Fahrenheit, like we were saying last week, 1661. Ooh, if it was 61% humidity. Illuminati.
It's creepy.
Indeed.
Illuminati confirmed.
So down here in Melbourne town, it is 12 degrees Celsius, 53 degrees Fahrenheit, and 67% humidity. Again, it's just the same all the time these days.
Yeah.
We're recording a little bit earlier again than we usually do because why not? Why the hell not?
Why not? Why not, people? Why not?
I don't know why not. I can't tell you. But it is a mini, so let's have a look at the quick news that's happened this week. And there were pretty much updates that released across all platforms, which is pretty cool. There was the Wukong Deluxe skin that released on the PC. And on console, they got the Quats collection.
Quats?
If I could talk properly, they got the Quats collection. And that includes the Quats gun, and all that stuff we were talking about 2 weeks ago. I can't remember what else is in the collection. The Amphis.
Amphis updated, a new Sundana, which looks like it's got the Amphis attached to it, and a really nice armor set.
Yeah, and an armor set for Kavats and Kubros.
Kubro and Kavat, yes.
That is right.
All the little goodies for all the little characters.
But you don't have to buy that collection. You can, of course, grab the Quats blueprint just from the market, I think, or it could be in the...
I believe it's a market one.
The market one. If not, it'll be in the Chem Lab, but I think it's a market. Cool. And the Switch, of course, gets some updated performance stuff as well. So, hopefully let us know if it actually does improve performance or whether it's just another visual performance thing, which is still a good thing. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, still a good thing.
All right. So, in case you're wondering who we're talking about this week we are talking about the wonderful Nezha. Now, Nezha was one of 3 frames that was released as a timed exclusive for the ill-fated Warframe China. Now, we haven't talked about Warframe China as yet. Maybe we should do that in one of the episodes, but it was basically a different version of Warframe that was released for the Chinese region. It's no longer available. I think it was discontinued in 2017, but I think there was Nezha, Wukong, and Excalibur Umbra that were originally released to that platform. But this little fella, he moved to the international game in update 18.1 back in 2015. And if you don't know who Nezha is, he is a mythical individual from Chinese mythology. May or may not have existed as an actual human, but was considered to be a child god. He didn't really have any amazing powers, apparently, according to the stories that I've read. But, of course, he has certain things that are associated with him. And we'll go into that a little bit as we go through his abilities, but really he's just a cool character from Romance of the Three Kingdoms and Journey to the West and things like that, which is also where Wukong is from, I believe. But he has fire. Fire is always good. Unless you're Ember, in which case people dislike you.
Yeah. Kill things with fire, in a good way.
He's actually pretty good. He's an effective tank. He does some good DPS as well. And while writing the article and preparing for this episode, I learned that he actually does some pretty solid support stuff as well. So let's have a look. Before we do that, he is easily acquired. So you can purchase him from the Tenno Lab in your clan, provided your clan has done the research. So I do recommend going and buying him if you've got the credits for him, build him, because he's not actually a bad little dude. Easily on par with Rhino and has some different kind of abilities. So it's slidey. On that note, passive, Lucas.
Passive, Nezha's passive, frictionless. It's a bit of a simple one that you will notice very, very quickly, and that is in fact that he can slide better than most frames. In fact, Nezha actually has a 60% faster slide, and it goes an extra 35% extra distance. So extra slidey. Slip and slide,
Yay!
folks.
He's extremely slidey. He's almost annoyingly slidey. Not almost. He is annoyingly slidey. Some people love it. I am clearly not one of them. I'm the type of person that doesn't like ice levels in video games because you fucking slide off the edge of the levels all the time. It pisses me off. Anyway,
it's all about the control, Greg.
I'll tell you what grinds my gears.
Control.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta control it.
No, there's
He
no
won
control.
with the slippery.
I don't do control, obviously. All right, so his first ability is called Firewalker, and it's pretty easy. He does a little kick, and he runs around and leaves fire behind him. So I'm proud of what I wrote in my article, so I'm going to read it out. In Chinese mythology, Nezha is often seen blazing the skies with his wind fire wheels, and Warframe puts these into effect with his first ability. Clicking his heels together like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, he doesn't just ask to go home, he just asks for his enemies to burn in holy fire. So that's my little story that I have to tell about this little fella. And basically, that's what happens. He leaves fire behind him, and the fire kills everything. But it doesn't do just that. So he moves 25% faster as well. The fire stays in place for 10 seconds, base at max. It does 200 heat damage to enemies, and it also has a chance to proc a heat status proc, which is pretty damn cool. But on top of that, any enemies that walk through the fire, any allies that walk through the fire have their status effects removed. This I did not know, and that is very cool. So when Nezha originally released, whenever, this ability was actually a channeled ability. Now it's a timed ability, and at base it lasts up to 30 seconds. So of course, if you add duration, it will last even longer. So he does have an augment, and this augment mod is called Pyroclastic Flow, which accumulates 150% of the damage dealt by Firewalker to be released in a 20-meter trail behind you, I believe, or in front of you. I've never actually used it. That lasts for 10 seconds and expels all of that accumulated damage on your next use of Firewalker. So basically, if you do a lot of damage with Firewalker and it's one of the abilities you rely on, you can actually use it as a high DPS ability. Only on your next use of Firewalker, though, so keep that in mind.
Oh, all right. Blazing Chakram is his next ability, and this ability puts into effect the lovely hoop that he has sitting on his back. Nezha will throw this ring at a targeted enemy, causing up to 250 heat damage to any enemies it hits, with guaranteed heat status. Should add that and ricocheting to hit up to 5 additional targets. This ability will also mark impacted enemies for up to 15 seconds, causing them to rake. Is that right? Rake 100% additional damage from all sources. Yep. Okay. And gives take. There we go.
I'm sorry.
Take 100% additional damage from all sources and gives them a 100% chance to drop a health orb and a 35% chance to drop an energy orb upon death. This ability can also be charged by holding down the ability key before casting. Not only will this increase the damage to 1,000 heat damage, but it will also double the travel distance. However, it will only travel in a straight line and will not ricochet. Activating the ability a second time while the ring is in flight will teleport Nezha to its location, which is pretty handy for getting around, especially because it doesn't cost any energy to do so. This ability is affected mostly by strength and duration mods. There is a good note here. Blazing Chakram has great synergy with Firewalker. If Firewalker is active when Nezha uses his Blazing Chakram to teleport, his wheels will overheat, causing 1250 heat damage within a 6-meter radius, which is affected by range mods, as previously mentioned. That said, the Firewalker ability will continue to run through its remaining duration. There is also a augment for this ability, Reaping Chakram. Each enemy hit increases damage by 2 times and the chance to drop health orbs on death by 0.25 times. So more health orbs.
Yay!
Can't go wrong.
More health orbs is good. More energy orbs is good. Just more stuff. So I didn't realize that that ability actually caused health orbs and energy orbs to drop. So another good thing about young Nezha. Q. All right, his third ability is the one that a lot of people use him for and is what makes him tanky. It's called Warding Halo. And basically, when you use it, he creates a special little ring that rotates around him and gives him damage mitigation. So it doesn't actually absorb all incoming damage. It only absorbs 90% of incoming damage at max, but it has its own health. So it is kind of hard to understand how the health works at first. The base health of the ring is 1,000 health, and you're also granted 250% of Nezha's armor stats as an additional health bonus. On top of that, similar to other abilities, when you first cast it, you're invulnerable for the first 3 seconds. Any damage that you take during that 3 seconds is also added, multiplied by 2.5 as well, so 250%, and added as additional health. And you can see where the health is at the bottom right hand side of the screen, so you always know how you're sort of tracking towards when it's going to run out. You can't recast it while it's in play, but you can sort of keep an eye on it. When you get close to enemies, they are staggered and they're dealt slash damage, which is pretty cool. I also wasn't aware of that because you have to get within 2 meters base at max, so it's pretty close that you have to get to them for that to happen. But yeah, it certainly works and is probably a good reason to increase his range, so that you can not necessarily become a nuke frame in any case, but at least, the closer enemies get to you, the more they're going to die. When the health of the halo is completely depleted, it will expel a wave of heat damage, which will cause 100% heat status effect to enemies that are affected, and Nezha will be invulnerable for a whole second. Yay! It does have an augment, and this augment is called Safeguard, and basically you can cast it onto your allies for 50% effectiveness. So yeah,
Nice.
not a bad augment.
Very, very nice. And for the fourth ability, Divine Spears. Now, in Chinese mythology, Nezha is often portrayed with his universe ring and a divine spear, which were gifts from his mentor. However, in Warframe, Nezha can call upon the divine spears from the ground beneath his enemies, impaling them like a Chinese Vlad the Impaler. Nice, very nice image. These spears are called up in a radius of 19 meters around Nezha, instantly inflicting 600 puncture damage upon impaled enemies and holding them aloft for up to 12 seconds. Casting the ability a second time will slam the enemies into the ground, causing an additional 600 impact damage. This ability benefits from strength, range, and duration mods, and by hitting an impaled enemy with Blazing Chakram, you will produce a second Chakram, which will seek out other enemies. If these hit other impaled enemies, they can also create more chakrams for all.
You have a chakram. You have a chakram. Yeah. So that was his fourth ability, and in reality, that's all of his abilities. Nezha is relatively... I'd like to say is relatively straightforward, because really you just turn on your Firewalker, you throw your chakram at things, and you use your chakram to teleport yourself across gaps and things like that, or to just get to different areas across the map. You keep your warding halo on at all times so that you're reducing incoming damage. And whenever you're surrounded by enemies, you use your divine spears. It's pretty simple, but I would say because of how he is, you either want to choose to build for all of those, or you want to make a specific build. I would say probably range and strength are your best bets, so that you can have more range for all of his abilities, because most of his abilities are range based. Um, and you want to cause more damage by doing so. But duration's also relatively important because you also want that Firewalker to last as long as possible. So, what do you think your comments are in regards to his abilities, Lucas?
Well, Warding Halo is awesome, of course. I mean, it's basically an alternative to Rhino's Iron Skin.
Iron Skin.
So that's fantastic. And the fact if you put Safeguard on that you can actually cast it on your allies just makes it even better.
I'd like to try that actually.
Um,
I've never used that one.
yeah, so that's super cool. And and even looking at that ability when it drops down, you have the AoE burst of heat damage. Even better, it's kind of like having Rhino with his shrapnel augment on. Yeah,
Yes.
when yeah, so you basically do extra damage upon the drop of it.
Mm,
That's awesome. Blazing Chakram is an interesting one. I do quite like the idea of combining Blazing Chakram with the Divine Spears to create a flurry of chakrams. So that's
yes.
hella cool. But my personal favorite ability would have to be Firewalker. So I'm all about that duration and damage build. Just give me all of it, and I will run around like a crazy lunatic, shooting in all the different directions, creating a massive trail of fire. And you know your allies are going to be cool because even if you've got hot fluoro pink flames and they can't see, they're not going to suffer from status effects.
Mm, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a brilliant ability. Another thing it's good for, and it's only a little thing, but it is good. If you've got a new player and they're having trouble keeping up and following, it's good just leaving a trail behind you so they know where you're going. It seems
Yeah.
silly, but I remember when I started playing and I used to follow someone around who was a Nezha, and I found it really easy to follow them when they were using Nezha because I just followed the fire.
And
Um,
Nezha uses a very attached to their bright colored flames.
yes, yeah, they tend to be. Tend to be. Another useful part of his warding halo ability is preventing knockdowns. Everyone hates knockdowns. I
Oh yeah,
hate knockdowns. So, yeah, knockdowns suck.
I
Um,
despise knockdowns.
knockdowns,
Despise with a burning passion.
exactly. So there are a lot of people out there that think that Nezha is a better alternative to Rhino because of the other abilities that he has. And I can understand that, and especially because he can actually cause some damage. Rhino can, yes, his Stomp's not a terrible ability, um, but and his Roar is a different ability that actually buffs other teammates as well. So that's a useful ability. But as a tank and DPS, Nezha potentially a better option. But I just find him a bit too slidey for my liking. And that is, of course, up to you. It depends whether you like that or not. I need to play him a bit more. Again, as with a lot of the frames that I don't play enough, but like I described in the article, I feel like I'm playing a drunken game of Mario Kart, and I'm just all over the shop, and it just is frustrating to me. So yeah, but he does provide health and
one
energy orbs, and he gets rid of status effects. So
one too many bananas been slipped on.
exactly. You know how slippery those bananas are when you've had a couple of drinks.
Mm, oh yeah.
Anyway, anything else you want to say about young Nezha?
Um. Nope.
Nope.
He burns things. Yay.
The Ring of Fire. And interestingly, even though I just sang that off the top of my head because I was making a little funny joke, um, the Lotus quotes Johnny Cash when she refers to him. Because she says I think the quote is, Nezha is a fiery thing and he creates a fiery ring, or something like that. I was like, ha 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 ha. That's pretty funny.
Oh, wow.
It's not a sore bum joke after fiery food. I'm sorry, Mum. Anyway, that's Nezha. He's alright. If you like that kind of thing, and some people do, plenty of people do. Next week.
What's next week?
Is scary. We're a bit scared because next week is the Lorecast, and we have finished the main storyline of Warframe, or the main story arc up until, boom, now. So where do we go from here? I don't know. And we're still deciding. So we might end up starting on one of the side quest frame quests. We might look at something specific. We might just have a Lorecast chat about the lore in general. Who knows?
Ooh,
we haven't thought about it.
Like that.
But yeah, we've just got to get some stuff. But if we do have a bit of a chat about it, I'd like to have some interesting stuff prepared, at least, to talk about. So look forward to next week's Lorecast, particularly if you're up to date on the game. We're looking forward to it. Ooh. All right, anything else you'd like to say before we close out?
Nope.
All right, so
let's close the door.
Yes, if you'd like to get in contact with us, or you'd like to join our Facebook or Discord collectives, head on over to cephalonsquared.com, where you'll find all of those links and ways to get in contact with us. Reach out to us, say g'day. Give us a rating on your podcast platform. That helps spread the word and helps everyone helps let people know that we exist. If you're watching on YouTube, click like and support and all that kind of jazz. I don't know what YouTubers say. Copy a YouTuber's quote, put it on here. But at this point,
smash that like button, hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, there you go.
And don't forget to activate the little bell to
Something about
get notified when we upload new videos.
Yeah, whatever they say. But at this point, we should thank our patrons.
Patrons! Yay!
So,
you want to start?
I will. Why not? Thanks, Rathok.
Do it. Thank you, Jellybean1799.
Thank you to Wolfsbane.
Thank you, 1000.
Thanks, ADOP88.
Thank you, Lord Freezon.
Thank you, Logan Neal.
Thank you, Danathan.
Thank you, Solarian.
And thank you, Obsolete Ninja 13.
Yeah, it's the patrons are getting bigger. Well, in number.
Why don't I feel like we... No, okay, never mind. I was like sitting there thinking, did we miss one? I feel like we missed one.
I hope we didn't. No, we didn't, because I go through it and I check. Okay. I confirm against the list. All
right.
Yeah. So, my name is Greg Newbegin. I am Mad Capsules on Twitch and Twitter and all over the internet. Who are you, Lucas?
I am Lucas Silvestri, and I am Silverlight all over the interwebs, SILVRLGHT. Thank you very much to our lovely community. Can't get enough of you guys. Just absolutely exploding the last few days. Far out. Like, how many new people have jumped in our Discord?
More than one.
Definitely more than one.
No, I don't pay attention. Probably 10 in the last couple of days.
Yeah, just in the last couple of days. So that's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And thank you to our lovely community for making those new members feel welcome. And thanks, guys.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Not a cult.
Not a cult. Hashtag not a cult.
All right, so we'll close it out there. Thank you to Yarn at disco_box. We did get our first person sending him a beautiful, beautiful tweet during the week. So we're going to start a new segment on the main podcast this weekend, probably called Love Letters to Disco Box. So keep an eye out for that one. Haven't decided on the naming yet, but that just feels right. Anyway, thanks for listening as always, and we will see you in a couple of days for episode 55.
55.
Bye. Bye.